So we talked a little bit about the expectations in the hiring process, some of the paperwork that your supervisors are completing to get you onboarded, but what does that look like from your side as the student? So let's talk a little bit about what those pieces look like as well. So the hiring process for a student, and some of this is going to look really familiar for you guys since you went through all of this, and some of this is happening on the back end, so you may not really be aware of it. So the first is you want to make sure you have a work-study offer as part of your financial aid. So whether that be through part of your initial award or through that waitlist process that we talked about. Once you have that award, feel free to go ahead and apply for positions on the Front Range Community College website. There's an entire section for just work-study positions, so you don't have to hunt for them. Once you've applied for those positions, those applications will get forwarded to those departments, and they'll start calling you for interviews. Once you've been offered a position, yay, congratulations, absolutely go celebrate. Your supervisor is going to submit that online hiring form that we talked about, and that's going to start the ball rolling in terms of the background check and onboarding stuff on campus. So once that form goes to Human Resources, they will initiate a background check, and all of this documentation that they're sending you, they're going to send to your CCCS email. So if you're not in the habit of checking that, please make sure you're doing so pretty regularly, particularly throughout this process. Once your background check is complete, Human Resources is going to reach out to you and tell you that there's some documentation that they need you to complete, 99% of which you complete online. They do need you to come in person to provide your Social Security card, to complete your I-9, as well as your payroll documentation so that they can make sure they have all of that set up to get you paid. And once all of that's completed, they will actually let the financial aid office know that all of that's been done, and then they'll be able to tell me when you can actually start working. And then you will receive communication, as will your supervisor, that'll outline your start date, your award information, your pay rate, and some information about timesheets and any special notifications that need to kind of be on your collective radar. So we talked about your responsibilities and expectations of your supervisors, but there are some for you as a student as well. Work-study positions or jobs, just like any other job. Students are expected to adhere to the following expectations and standards that are customary at Front Range Community College, and these are the same sort of expectations that your supervisors are held to in their individual roles as well. So we expect that you're going to be punctual and dependable, that you're going to communicate with your supervisor regarding scheduling issues, that you have a positive work attitude and a professional appearance where applicable. So, for example, if you're working in the greenhouse, showing up in a shirt and tie is probably not appropriate for the work that you're doing. But make sure you're having that conversation with your supervisor so that they can relay to you what is appropriate for the work that you will be doing. We expect you to contribute to the position because, as we've talked about throughout this, you get out of it what you put into it. So we want to make sure that you're getting the most out of it that you can. We expect you to work confidentially and respect the privacy of other students' records. And if you're working with student records in your role, your supervisor will probably talk to you a little bit more about this. We expect you to abide by all established institutional and office policies and procedures and accurately report all of your hours that are worked, and we'll talk about how to do that here in a minute. We expect you to perform all of the tasks that you're assigned and provide quality customer service as you're doing so. So while in the workplace, being part of the Front Range student staff means that there are expectations that we must meet every day in order to preserve a comfortable, cooperative, and business-oriented environment. Make sure you're discussing these with your supervisor as well, because all of this is going to be at the discretion of your supervisor. So plan your day accordingly, and either eat before or after your shift or during your breaks. Food shouldn't be present while working unless otherwise approved by your supervisor. Use of the internet for non-work related use is prohibited during work hours. This is reflected in the college's computer use policy. All cell phone use is strictly prohibited during work hours except for emergency situations and only away from the front service area. So if you're working in an area where there's a front desk and that's your first interaction with students, make sure you're having that conversation with your supervisor to see if they're okay with that, with having personal communication devices there with you. Be sure to take the initiative to find a project that needs to be completed. You are an integral part of each area where you're working, and we couldn't do what we do without your help. And we want to make sure that you're staying engaged, quite frankly, because we want to make sure that, again, that you're getting the most out of this and getting out of it what you put into it.